Hi, I'm Sarah Baker and I work for New South Wales DPI as a Pastures Development Officer. I'm here today to talk about pasture recovery and some of the things to keep in mind when making management decisions after a bushfire. Our pastures can be quite resilient to fire, and a number of species have the ability to either survive the fire or to regenerate after a fire. Don't be too quick to write off your pastures after a fire. Wait for some significant rainfall and see what regenerates, and you might be surprised by what comes back. Perennial species often have root stores below the ground and growing points below the ground, depending on the different species, as these include species like Phalaris, and they can regenerate after rainfall if those buds under the ground didn't get burnt. Species like Kikuya have what's called rhizomes below the soil surface, and again, often these can survive, and following rainfall, these plants will often regenerate. With our annual species, for example subclover, often there's seed buried in the soil, and that seed again can survive and again regenerate after rainfall. Take a look at your whole farm feed base and have a think about which paddocks can be managed back into productivity rather than just resown. You don't want to resow your whole farm at once. When it does rain and you start to see your pastures recovering, don't be too quick to graze them. Remember, your pastures have been through a pretty stressful time being burnt, so they need some time to rebuild the root reserves and just get a bit more green leaf before they get grazed. Sowing fodder crops such as forage cereals, that might be oats or wheat, or it might even be a forage brassica, can provide quick feed when feed is short following a bushfire. Obviously this needs to be done after rainfall or with moisture in the soil profile. Another advantage of fodder crops is they can assist with cleaning up weeds in paddocks that might appear after a paddock has been burnt. Following a fire, weeds often take advantage of the bare ground and germinate following rainfall. So be on the lookout for weeds in your pastures and be prepared to control some of these weeds. Also be aware that if you've brought hay or fodder onto your property, it might contain new weeds, so you need to check regularly and do this for a number of rainfall events. When you're monitoring your paddocks for weeds, particularly new weeds, also be on the lookout for just anything else slightly unusual that might be happening. One thing in particular to be watching out for is pasture dieback. So this occurs in grasses, and it's a yellowing and reddening of the grass plant leaf. Then the plants eventually die, and this occurs in patches, and the patches seem to spread and get larger following rainfall. Don't rush into resowing perennial pastures. Take the time to ensure good planning and paddock preparation before sowing perennial pastures, and think about which species are suited to your soil types. Recovery after bushfire can be a long process. You can find further information on our New South Wales DPI website. And also, if you're finding it difficult to make decisions or you want a bit more advice and talk to someone, head into your local land services offices or talk to your local agronomist for expert advice.